Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into the ultimate plumbing matchup, mainline rotting versus power rotting. You know that absolute dread when you're standing over a sink or a floor drain and the water just stops? Yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're going behind the scenes to demystify exactly how the pros mechanically defeat these pipe nightmares.
So what do plumbers actually do when a drain simply refuses to flow? Well, it's fascinating and a whole lot more methodical than just pouring a jug of harsh chemical cleaner down the drain and crossing your fingers. Actually, those chemicals usually just burn through organic matter right at the surface. They leave the dense structural core of the blockage completely untouched. Instead, professionals rely on a highly calculated mechanical process to clear the line for real.
Before we compare the specific techniques, let's establish our baseline. When a drain won't flow, technicians rely on a method called rotting. It's essentially pushing a specialized tool or flexible cable through a pipe to physically break up, hook, or push right through a blockage. It is the absolute foundation of professional drain clearing. But the exact way that tool gets pushed, well, that changes the entire operation.
Let's kick things off with contender number 1, mainline rotting.
When you think of mainline rotting, picture a plumber's manual scalpel. It's a hand-operated approach where the technician applies highly controlled manual force to advance a cable into the drain. And because they're doing this by hand, the operator is relying heavily on tactile feedback. They can literally feel the resistance inside the pipe through their fingers. They know the exact split second they hit a bend versus when they strike the actual blockage. This lets them incrementally adjust their pressure, finessing the cable to break the clog apart safely rather than just using brute force.
So when is this manual, tactile approach the right choice?
It's the perfect first line of defense for partial clogs, those super annoying slow drains. It reliably tackles everyday buildup, like hair, soap residue, and minor grease deposits. But here is the real kicker. It's absolutely crucial for older or delicate plumbing. Whether you're dealing with aging cast iron or brittle galvanized steel, relying on gentle, tactile control clears the drain without putting undue stress on fragile pipes that could easily crack under high pressure.
Next up, contender number 2, power rotting. If mainline rotting is a delicate scalpel, power rotting brings the heavy machinery. Instead of manual finesse, this method uses a power drain cleaning machine to drive a heavy-duty cable and a specialized auger head with immense speed and torque. It delivers a consistent motorized propulsion to chew right through whatever is blocking the pipe. We're talking about motors generating high RPMs that spin sharp cutting blades or heavy coil heads, basically transforming the cable into a relentless snake-like drill.
You bring out this heavy machinery for severe or fully obstructed drains. We're talking about compacted, long-term buildup, or dense, calcified scale deep down in the main sewer line. It's also the absolute go-to solution for tough tree root intrusions. When a clog completely laughs off those careful manual pushing attempts, power rotting is the heavy artillery needed to blast through the barrier and finally get things flowing again.
All right, let's look at the head-to-head matchup. The philosophy behind each approach is completely different. On the manual side, it's entirely about the human touch. It's operator-controlled, heavily reliant on feeling the pipe, and prioritizes careful, methodical progress. In stark contrast, the power approach utilizes relentless, machine-driven force to guarantee a consistent, unstoppable mechanical advance through the absolute toughest blockages. And that brings us to the core trade-off, especially regarding risk management. Yes, power rotting cuts right through impacted obstructions, but it comes with a major caveat. It requires exact machine settings and the correct tooling for the specific pipe diameter. That incredible torque can easily shatter sensitive or corroded piping if the operator isn't careful. Mainline rotting inherently sacrifices that raw cutting power, but it ensures complete safety for sensitive, delicate pipework.
Which leads us to the next phase, the diagnostic journey.
Because of these vastly different risks and capabilities, picking the right tool isn't a guessing game. A pro actually steps through a strict 4-step process before any tools even touch your drain. First, they assess the clog's severity. Is it a partial or full blockage? Second, they meticulously evaluate the pipe condition, looking at the material, age, and the complexity of the bends. Third, they determine the exact location of the blockage and the safest access points. Only after mapping the whole shebang out do they move to step 4, selecting the precise rotting method and tooling.
But here's a crucial insight. If a line repeatedly clogs, rotting alone might not be your final answer. If you're dealing with persistent sewer odors or backups month after month, rotting might just be a temporary band-aid on a collapsed pipe, severe pipe bellies, or a massive root intrusion. In those cases, modern diagnostics like high-resolution video camera inspections are absolutely essential to figure out what structural failures are lurking down there.
And that brings us to a fantastic point from our sources today. For most property owners, the safest approach is to consult a licensed technician who can assess the drain, choose the right method, and verify clearance properly. Diagnostic expertise is the real hero here. Having the power to clear a drain is useless and potentially disastrous if you don't know how to deploy it safely without wrecking your home's infrastructure.
Which leaves us with one final and honestly pretty vital question to consider. If applying the wrong mechanized force can easily destroy an aging pipe, do you truly know what condition your own hidden plumbing is in? Before you try to tackle that next stubborn blockage on your own, consider what might be lurking right beneath your floorboards. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this helped clear things up, and keep on learning.